All right, friends, I've got my tea. You know what that means. We're about to find out what happened in Etihad first class. So before I go through the whole thing, I want to say two things. First of all, I need to emphasize, and I say this quite a bit, I just forgot to say it in my last review, that I am so grateful every single time I get to fly in a premium cabin. It's truly such a joy. You guys can tell how excited I get. So even if there are some things that I complain about in the reviews, it's all, in the end, so much fun for me. I can't think of anything more fun to do than fly on a plane, especially in a premium cabin, and I'm just so incredibly grateful that I get to do it. The second thing is that as a reviewer, even if I'm flying first class, I need to find things to suggest improvements on and give minor criticisms on things that I don't think live up to expectations in whatever cabin I'm in. So I can't really compare every first class experience to flying economy class and say that every first class flight is fantastic just because it's so much better than economy class. And of course, I have never taken a first class flight, well, maybe apart from Air India 747, but that's a different matter, that has been worse than a business class flight, or that has even been close to a business class flight. I've never taken a business class flight that's been close to economy. They're all in their own league, and I need to compare them to other first class flights, not economy or whatever you'd expect in those cabins. So I hope you understand that. And there's just a little thing that I need to mention. I don't want to be shady, but I had a few comments on my last video saying that, oh, Sam Chewy had such a good experience in Etihad first class. You should watch his review. Like, you're just complaining. And all I want to say to you guys, I love you and I really want the best for all of you. Just be careful with whose advice you take, because just find a YouTuber that you know is completely honest, doesn't have any like ulterior motives. As you guys know, I don't care if I don't get invited to airline events. I don't care if airlines start hating me. All I want is to tell you guys the truth and share my honest experience. So without further ado, let's get into what happened in Etihad first class. Alrighty, let's take a pause to drink. I just wanted to put this in a separate video because all these explanations, they just take too long to include in the review, and ultimately this is a one-time experience I had, and I don't feel like it really represents the product as a whole. What happened, some of you guessed it, between the main course, or between the palate cleanser and the main course, I was totally not making a lot of noise. If I'd been traveling with a friend or whatever who'd been in maybe 3A, I would have spoken to them louder than I was speaking to the camera, and you guys can see that. So I think it was just the filming, like they weren't super comfortable with it. But what ended up happening was that the purser came over and very politely said, so sorry sir, you're not allowed to film on board. It's Abu Dhabi law. There's nothing we can do about it. So that's fine. It's a shame, I think, in any cabin when the crew like tells you you can't do something like that, especially if you're not disturbing other passengers. And I just read that today, shockingly, the airlines have always had the most problems on when it comes to recording is American carriers. And United, just today, has completely eased their policy on recording. In fact, they've kind of permitted people to record other passengers and crew as long as it doesn't compromise safety, which is insane for a US carrier. I'll link an article on 1 Mile at a Time about that because I find it very interesting. But anyway, so that was just like, it was a shame, but I get it. What ended up happening next is what really just made me feel uncomfortable, unwelcome, and it's not a huge deal, but it's just a shame. So as the chef came in with my main course, he went out again, and then I hear the purser whispering to him, to the chef outside my suite, "Oh, did you see the camera? Be careful." And it just made me feel so uncomfortable knowing that the chief of this first class flight felt so uncomfortable with me recording that he was like, I don't know. It's just a shame. And from then on, I felt like I was really treated very differently by the crew. I think they were very uncomfortable. Obviously, I got very uncomfortable. And it's a tough situation, you know, because it's my job to make these reviews, and I want to share as much as possible with you guys. So I can't just stop filming, especially when I've paid a lot for a flight. There's not really any one person or thing you can blame. Like, I don't blame Etihad, I definitely don't blame the crew. I don't blame myself, but also you can't even blame Abu Dhabi for these laws, because you have to understand, if you're traveling through a country, you follow their laws, and if it is a very conservative country, then there's not much you can do if that's how they want to have it. But just as a contrast to the flight I had the next day, I was connecting from Etihad Airways in Muscat, going on to Qatar, flying to Bangkok. So on my flight from Muscat to Doha, and I don't want to make this too long or reveal too much of that review, but I was the only passenger in business class. And again, as I was recording, I see the purser like peeking out from the galley, and I'm like, ooh, here we go again. I'm gonna get told off. This is really uncomfortable. It was like the start of the flight. My meal had just been served. So he comes out of the galley, starts walking toward me. Mr. Gauze, may I please rearrange your meals so it looks better for your video? And perhaps I could change the cabin lighting so that it's better for the camera. Talk about a contrast. Like, that is how proud and excited I wish every airline employee would be to show off their product and just be proud to represent their airline. And I know that there might be different laws in Qatar and the UAE, but overall they are quite similar countries on a global scale. So it's just really interesting to see this contrast. That brings me to the point that why would I fly Etihad, like a carrier that has clearly stricter rules, and just made me feel uncomfortable, when I can fly their direct competitor Qatar, who is super camera friendly and just take pride in what they have to offer. So that was my little story. As I said, it's not super dramatic. It just was an incident that's understandable, and I'm a little sad it happened. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed my review. The amount of positive feedback I've got is insane, and I just have to thank you guys as always for the continued support. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, because now I'm gonna make a full comparison between Singapore Airlines and Etihad suites. How the seat is different, and like which I prefer design-wise and also soft product-wise, because as I said, I really liked the food on Etihad, so it will be interesting to see which was best. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you all next time, fly safe.